Hello and welcome to our next aviation adventure. Today we're taking you on a thrilling journey as we fly over the mountains to visit a beautiful small airfield on the other side of our country. In this video, we'll dodge dangerous clouds, enjoy unbelievable views, land with a tailwind and find something unexpected and amazing. After weeks of sunny weather, on the day of our departure, the skies have turned cloudy. We were a bit nervous but excited about this challenge. Of course, every flight begins with a preparation. On this flight, my friend Tomasz prepared the plane, so the plane inspection was completed faster than usual. We filled the tanks completely to have sufficient reserves in case of unexpected complications, divert and so on. Our airplane Dynamic has two tanks, each with a capacity of nearly 60 liters, which means that with full tanks we can fly from one end of Slovakia to the other and back, and still have half of the fuel left. When everything was ready, we jumped into the cockpit and began the startup procedure. The startup in a light sport airplane is very simple. You basically need to turn on the electrical circuits and both ignition circuits, start the engine and check the oil pressure. Just make sure you're on the brakes, as with the 100 horsepower Rotax engine on idle, the airplane immediately starts to taxi. In this case this was especially true because we have a fresh new engine with slightly higher minimum RPM. This will definitely not help during a tailwind landing on short airfield. Okay, after a short taxi, we were on the holding point runway 14 in Boleras. This is usually quite a busy airfield with lots of training flights and gliders all around. But on this day, there was no traffic. We made before takeoff procedures, reported lining up the runway and full throttle. The journey begins. Next, dodging dangerous clouds with mountains below us, challenging landing with a tailwind, and we are surprised what we see. Here we are on the crosswind leg of the Boleras airfield traffic circuit. We started to climb quickly, and after a few minutes we left our home airfield. Right from the takeoff, it was clear that this flight would be difficult. Clouds limited our ascent, and as we approached the mountains, the space between the terrain and the clouds began to narrow. After a few minutes, we had to start deciding which way to fly, because our route led straight into the clouds sitting on the hills. We flew under the VFR rules, which means that during the flight, we must always have good visibility and not fly into the cloud. Our flight turns into looping between the clouds and looking for a safe route. Soon, we had to turn right to avoid a large cloud sitting on a hill. We were both looking in all directions, because flying into a cloud over such mountainous terrain could be fatal. In addition, a restricted military area extends from the right side, as you can see on the map here. We certainly do not stand for problems with the army. After a while, we saw on our left side a path through the clouds, by which we could safely return to our original track. wandering among the clouds was not over yet. This time we had to deviate to the left from the track because of the clouds. However, after crossing the low Tatras, the cloud cover improved and we could finally return to our planned route. In a few minutes we approached the Tatry airport, where we established a communication with the tower. There is a controlled Class D airspace around Tatry airport, which means that you cannot just fly as you wish. You need a permission from the controller, who is responsible for the aircraft separation in the controlled airspace. We requested crossing the airspace and landing at our destination airport in Mlinica, which the tower approved without any problems. Next, challenging landing with a tailwind, and we're surprised what we see. Here we are on the base leg of runway 29 in Mlinica. Mlinica is so-called special airport and has only runway 29 approved for landing and only runway 11 approved for departure. That means the wind becomes a significant factor, as you cannot change the direction of landing to fly against the wind, as is usual on normal airfields. And guess what? We had a tailwind. Remember that our RPM on idle is slightly higher. This and the tailwind made the landing quite challenging. I had to use the third notch of flaps, which is usually used in the emergency landing, to slow the airplane down. But we made it! Welcome to Mlinica! And Mlinica welcomes us with a surprise.